Welcome to the Political Matrix News. We have the sources, we have the truth from inside the political matrix.
Find the mouse.
The Political Matrix News for a Thursday. This is the 22nd of August. It is last night of the Democratic National Convention. We're going to roll through this one fast because we don't want to miss anything or anybody who's up on the stage tonight. And the question is, do you think Kamala Harris will actually get on television nationwide before 11 o'clock Eastern Time? What do you think, Scott Miller?
I do not, because no one of those conventions owns a watch.
What do you think, Greg Fink?
I agree. I have not seen any kind of time management, although I have been impressed with some of the speeches. Their length of them are extremely long and long-winded. And I did not see her getting on before 11 o'clock at all.
I know.
Well,
and
when you have the luminaries of the party, we can't respect them by enforcing the
You can't rush them.
Oh heavens, no! They have important things to say.
Yes, because somebody wrote it for them.
I will tell you the ones that I think are the most hilarious are the Republicans and the former Trump administration people that they're saying that are getting behind the scenes. Trump actually mocks his followers, and Trump actually hates military people and stuff like that. I'm like, well, you can say that to your own crowd as much as you want, but at the end of the day, the audiences that you're talking about have seen plenty of the president and don't buy that shit for a second.
Do you know who has the Donald Trump? All they've done in this convention so far is run against Donald Trump. That's all. Yes. They haven't talked about what they're for. They are against Donald Trump. And if there's a problem, it's Donald Trump's fault. Democrats have been in the White House for 12 out of the last 16 years. 12 out of the last 16. If I can do my math properly, that means Donald Trump should only be responsible for 25% of the world's problems.
And they are the incumbent party. And they are the incumbents. Although they're not running like it. They're running Trump is still the incumbent, and they're in his shadow, and that we're in a moment of darkness because of Trump's presidency currently.
Yes.
But there isn't one.
Right. But that doesn't matter to them. Can anybody articulate a particular plank of the Democratic Party platform or a particular plank of Kamala Harris's personal what she's all about? Anything?
I can't. Abortion is the new civil rights.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Bueller? How about Bueller? Nope, nothing Bueller. Okay.
Even though she's not a communist, she definitely supports communist principles.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. So
there's a few platforms.
There are. No, there aren't. They've nothing. It's we hate Trump. That's it. That's the whole sum and substance of the Democratic Convention. We hate Trump. 32 days since she was given the golden ticket, if you will. Is that what they got in the Willy Wonka?
Yeah, Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
She got the golden ticket.
What I think is very, very ironic is how long and how desperately they've been trying to distance themselves from Kamala being the border czar. And yet today, the Biden administration, or was it within the last couple of days, the Biden administration finally enacted a policy that they've been trying to get forward for a while that would make it easier for the spouses of people who have married illegal immigrants to keep them in here. It's what are they calling, a shelter in place or
something like that.
Something like that, to where they are literally making it easier for illegal immigrants to be able to stay here in spite of the fact that they came here illegally. And on top of that, California, where Kamala is from, and I guarantee you she's in favor of this because you sure don't hear her railing against it, is making it easier for illegal immigrants to purchase houses with funds that are advanced to them from the state of California.
No way.
As if California isn't already inundated and bursting at the seams with people that it can't take care of. Now we're going to get an influx of people, even more of them. The good news is now personally, I know the reason they're trying to do this is because in 6 years we're going to have us another census, and they want to jam pack that state with so many people they can make up for all of the people that are running off to places like Texas and Florida and just any place not California. So, because they've already lost representation in California to other states like Florida and Texas.
Yeah, they're calling it the Dream for All program. And it's passed 5-2 in a party line vote in their Senate Appropriations Committee in California.
Yeah. So
Wonderful.
These guys, I mean, you talk one game how immigration is a problem, or grudgingly admit that there's a problem with with illegal immigration,
but why?
And yet you support policies, you create these policies that encourage people.
Exactly.
If you get here, just be quiet, sneak on over, and when you get here, we'll make sure that they can't make you leave.
Yeah, because we got all these new contracts for you guys. You actually might be able to get a job building the house you're going to one day live in.
But because you're illegal, you're not going to have any of the labor protections that we extend to actual citizens, and you're going to be a second-class citizen. You're going to be a second-class labor person who doesn't get to go to court when your boss screws you.
And there's no paperwork, so no harm, no foul.
No big deal.
Who cares? But you got a free place to live.
Yeah.
Well, once you get out of jail,
the claims and counterclaims are just so astounding. Just a few of them, just to bring it up. The issue still remains. Tim Waltz, Command Sergeant Major, Minnesota National Guard. No, he claimed he was going to retire before 9/11 and then re-enlisted, which is not true because he didn't have enough years in uniform to retire. Then he also Lester Holt on the NBC Nightly News reported we were quite touched by Waltz talking about experience with IVF. The family says that there was no IVF involved in the birth of their children. Tim Waltz bashes J.D. Vance for going to Yale. He followed 4 or 5 people who went to Yale. I'm just stunned. Stunned by all this. Wait a minute. It gets better. It gets better. What is the hot breaking news item we had last night or the night before with the fake 800,000 jobs? Fake 800,000 jobs. Now, what's interesting is that's the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
How could they be wrong?
The current Commerce Secretary, Gina Raimondo, says she does not believe official government job numbers. I'm not kidding. ABC News asked her, and she then she goes, no, when I hear that, first of all, I don't believe it because I've never heard Donald Trump say anything truthful. The figure came from the Labor Department of Labor Statistics. I mean, it's like...
I'm confused. So when did the books start getting cooked?
Precisely. Oh, by the way, I got an update from Mike Waltz, Congressman of Florida, who really was in the Army, did Special Forces, then did Special Forces in the National Guard, which is either 19th or 20th Group Special Forces.
Very good Congressman.
And again, the difference is Walz, W-A-L-Z, the Democrat, W-A-L-Z with the T in there for Trump. That would be Mike Walz, who is from basically above Orlando, Daytona Beach area. And he pointed out that you got to go to the Sergeant Major Academy. I made that point last week. And it's 10 months. And yeah, you can do a certain amount of book learning, but you physically have to go to El Paso. Right. And from the time that Tim Walz was appointed until the time he retired out of the National Guard, he was in the chair of the Command Sergeant Major. He was getting paid like a Command Sergeant Major. He officially was only in the job. When the day before he retired, he was demoted to Master Sergeant, which is still a bunch of stripes over here.
Sure.
Serious stuff.
E7,
okay? Yeah. E8, buddy. But yeah, that's a way Army messed this thing around.
The Air Force is E7.
So, but anyway, there's that. I think the other thing that Mike Waltz brought out to Dave, since he is on the House Committee on the Trump assassination attempt, The FBI does confirm there were 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 encrypted devices, each backed up to 1 to New Zealand, 1 to Belgium, 1 to Germany. Do you have an encrypted device? Anybody?
The 3 of us actually work in an industry where you need encrypted devices.
Yes, we do.
Because you run the risk of really savvy campaigns being able to lift your information, and I don't have one. I mean, I've got Telegram on my phone, but I really rarely use it. Right. And to come up with 3 encrypted devices, come on.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Little on the oddball side right there.
You know the technology that we use. So we in our campaigning, we use geofencing, where we can actually tell when someone goes to a particular address that we're highlighting, and once they cross that threshold, then they'll start getting our ads. The way that has to work is that you have to track these phones, and you're not actually physically tracking the phones. You're just catching it every time it logs into a network, and you get the location of the checkpoint. So you can follow a device along, not minute by minute, but a very general path.
As long as it's not wrong.
Right, and based on that information, there's someone from Washington, D.C. who came to visit that kid and his family several times for several months leading up to this thing. And the place in Washington, D.C. that he's going back to from this house is the FBI office.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, the FBI, by the way, is telling the committee that these investigations could take 2 or 3 years. I'm serious.
Oh, yes.
Okay. A couple of other things.
It's very complicated.
A couple of other things. Dana Bash on CNN. And by the way, if I ever say Joy Reid from MSNBC, I want you to push the button and turn me off. The woman has 0 credibility. The woman has about 25 viewers on a nightly basis. She is this much. She, honest to God, I'm going to give you a great visual on this. She could not make a pimple on Sean Hannity's ass. Okay? Just saying.
Oh, man, that's horrible.
There you go. But that pretty much sums up Joy Reid.
Sean Hannity, and I'm not a big Sean Hannity fan, but Sean Hannity has more viewers in the studio than Joy Reid has in the world.
Considering he's doing it from the spare bedroom of his house.
I know.
Fort Myers now, on the West Coast.
Right.
I don't know if it was a house or a condo. I've heard both. I know he had a condo before. I think he finally got a house. I hope it's not right on the Gulf.
Yeah, the only reason Joy Reid has viewers is they're counting her staff.
There you go. Dana Bash saying that Doug Emhoff and Tim Walz, here we go, are modern Democratic men who are not burdened. Actually, she said laden. They are not laden with testosterone.
It's a horrible thing to be laden with.
Yeah, but give it about 20 years, Greg. You'll know exactly what that means. And by the way, Chicago over the years has been home to more than 50 conventions. And you know why that is, right? Why? No, that's where all the railroads go.
Oh, well, fair enough. Yeah.
In after the Civil War, Chicago was the hub of railroads. St. Louis really tried. Memphis really tried. But it was Chicago because the population greater in the north than in the south. So we didn't have interstates now. Memphis, St. Louis would probably be there as well. Also, they didn't have air conditioning, so you needed a place in the summer that wasn't ungodly hot, so they could open all the windows. So since Sunday, 22 people have been shot in Chicago.
Wow.
A Democratic conventioneer has been robbed at gunpoint in Chicago. You know what's interesting about Chicago? It's almost a gun-free zone. There's one gun store in the whole city of Chicago. One. That's it.
And yet this happens.
That's amazing. And it's against the law to use a gun, and it's against the law to rob people.
How can them criminals
break the law quickly?
It's a good democratic city.
More background checks of everybody in Chicago. In fact, the whole goddamn city should have a background check.
I lived there when I was a child, and it was great to go to the Museum of Science and Industry. It had 2 zoos. 2 zoos, mind you. But this, I think, sets the mindset up of Chicago. Some guys went out one day on jet skis, and they're straight east, right? Heading towards Michigan, which is 40, 50 miles away. They get out there, and one of the guys misses. The other one's turning off. He just completely misses him, and he's going along, and he looks over his shoulder. There's nobody there. Oh, crap. And he runs out of gas. And the buddies get back and go, where's Fred? I don't know. Well, hell, you see him? No? Well, we got to turn these jet skis in. Can't do that. Call the Coast Guard. Coast Guard starts looking for him. Nothing. They find him 2 days later, dehydrated and sunburned. Think about this. Wait a minute. Dehydrated.
That's funny. That is funny.
Greg, you with me on that?
I'm with you.
Okay. The guy from Chicago didn't realize that Lake Michigan was fresh water. You can drink out of it.
Before I got that sunburn, I'd have been testing the water, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm right there as well. That sums up Chicago.
And that's how they shoot each other with no guns legally made.
Yeah,
or found.
I don't have a lot use for it. I mean, you still, interestingly enough, the airplanes followed the railroads, which is why you still have O'Hare, usually the biggest, busiest airport in the country. Sometimes it's Atlanta. And then you have Midway, where Southwest goes to change planes as well, because it's in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Figure. All right, we're gonna bail on this, and I'm gonna tell you why. We're gonna go see if we can get Kamala Harris on before 10 o'clock Eastern time. We will be back. Are we gonna do the show for Friday or the weekend, or just wait till next Monday to do a couple?
I'm just gonna shoot one. Just shoot one really quick here for Friday.
Okay, we'll do that tomorrow then.
We do a quick episode.
And we can talk about the new movie. In fact, we're going to do it at a different time, because I'm going to talk about the new movie called Reagan.
Reagan, that's right.
Dennis Quaid, good Texas boy, playing Ronald Reagan. I'm going to tell you something. The similarity, you don't think about him, but my God, the pictures, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. My cousin, Penelope Miller, who should be Scott's cousin, but isn't, it plays Nancy Reagan in this. So
really,
there you have it.
Cool.
Yeah, long story, long ago, far away. On behalf of Scott Miller, not related to Penelope, and Greg Fink, not related to
Barton Fink.
Wasn't that a movie?
It is.
The guy had wiry hair and
and he also got the guy from the what is it, BlackRock?
There you go. It was one of those guys. I'm Rob Milford. We would appreciate a like, certainly a share, and absolutely a subscription, which is for now and for the foreseeable future going to be free. Once we get really good with this, we'll probably, really crank it up there, maybe $1 a week. Who knows? And a lifetime subscription for, I don't know, $100. Okay.
10 cents an episode.
There you go. Quite the deal.
I think we are worth a dime.
There you go. 1 thin dime, 1/10 of a dollar. We'll see you next time on the Political Matrix News.